It's Sunday morning and my pockets are full of cash. We are getting a little bit of early traffic. Usually on Sunday, you can shoot a cannon through here, and it's certainly not busy like it's been the last few days, but it's just before 10 o'clock and people are starting to show up. These buckles made about 40 years ago, they sure made a ton of them, and they made them pretty heavily for about 20 years, but some of them are starting to be collectible, especially topics. The 82 World's Fair is $12 now. I'm sure that'll be more in the future. The problem with a lot of these is a lot of these like this, you know, they're not reproductions because they never made those, but they're fantasy items. And to me, fantasy items are based on nostalgia for old things. I'd rather have the real old things. This is a good little Matchbox card that you don't see very often. It's got the black wheels, so second generation, but it's the Lions made. This was an ice cream truck that would have gone around England. It's in perfect shape. They have 60 bucks on it, and it is probably worth about that. Here's a bunch of pigeon forge pottery, mostly in the dogwood pattern. That's probably their most popular pattern, made in Tennessee. It was a little family operation. The prices are usually not really super high, but they made some neat pieces, and they are collectible, so it's something to pick up if you see it inexpensively. The wedding vase is only $25. This guy has some pretty great signs. His prices aren't cheap, but they're really nice. He's got a piece over here I'll show you because I know we have peppers in the audience. Here is a Dr. Pepper hot or cold thermometer, and he offered it to me for $200. He's got a lot of really good stuff. I like this nosegay tobacco. I can't imagine it smelled like a nosegay. Well, his prices might not have been cheap, but that is such a popular category. I just don't expect any more to see signs at Springfield priced at anything other than collector prices. Well, my friends the McCoys said they had some neat stuff, and I always like visiting them. It's funny how oftentimes when you've been to a show a few times, you start going back to the same people. And that's not always a good idea. Sometimes going to the fresh fields where there's people you haven't met before is good. But going to the same people is good in that you actually build a relationship, they start to know what you want, and sometimes when you're a repeat buyer, you get a better discount. Oh my gosh. Where in the world did you get Chucky?
My mom found that costume, and then I just stuck it on her mannequin's form.
That's hilarious. Well, welcome.
I'm so happy to see you.
Oh, it's nice to see you too. I'm very excited to be here.
I'm excited for you to be here.
Yes, well, you said that you had some cool stuff, so I'm going to shop. Wow, right away, a big paint by number with horses, and that size is great. And you know, paint by numbers are really popular. 50 is not a bad price for it. And then you've got the wishing well, I see, or the old mill. Wishing well. It's so funny. It's too early in the morning. This is interesting. It's a tilt-top table. It looks like it's 20th century, maybe 1940-ish, because of these screws, the way it's done. And it actually tilts up and has the Asian design similar to a Coromandel screen where you have these figures that are raised and painted. Nice piece, and again, only $50. Now, it's a specific taste, but I mean, it folds up so that this would be a very small footprint and could be very convenient. And convenient occasional tables usually sell pretty well. Birdcage is cute. They really do have some different stuff this time. I'm glad they had me come over. $30 on that. This is really different because look at the metal bale. That part you don't see very often. This is Fire King. This is a 1960s pattern. And it's interesting seeing it in the bale because they made sure that you would see the circle in each one. So they must have had that made specifically for that piece. Tom's peanut jar for $65. That seems to be about the regular store price on these. You've got the red knob up there. $50 for the pair on the painted Fenton bell candlesticks, the chamber sticks, and they have the C. Boley painter's signature on the bottom. Little figural cordial bottles were very popular in the 60s. This one is for Grant's, a Scottish. There's the information on who made this. This is a novelty supply in Glasgow. 70 proof. I assume it's Scotch whiskey. I have not had Grant's before, but I like the little seal. And there are definitely collectors for those little pieces. And this funny thing is a barbell. Give us a ring for another round. Oh, I see. That's just silly. Obviously a Florida souvenir. The red is the hotter color, but the brown one for $25 seems like the best deal of the bunch for me. I leveled car memorabilia. They have the Studebaker Presidents and Commanders from 1938 here. A new adventure in Nash. And this up here, I believe, is a Chevrolet Master Deluxe Town Sedan. Yes. These are great 1930s ones, a little earlier than you see. And this is a gram. This is an unusual name that went out of business around the Second World War. But it had a supercharger, which meant that a small engine could suddenly go twice as fast. So the Gram supercharger was considered a very, very nice, fast, fun car to have in its time. And there it is in sedan form. And here we go, American Auto Appraisal. This is the old blue book, except this one's a green one. 1941, telling you how much you could get for your 1933 Brockway. Oh, cool. Here's the kit. A lot of these were done by kits. You didn't have to figure it out completely freehand. $12 on that. It seems like that would be a pretty decent price for that these days. Oh, look at that. A big tooled leather purse, and this is the big fat one that looks like a saddle. These definitely are fun. And there are collectors for these, absolutely. A little bit rusty on the handle here, but otherwise it's in good shape, especially the fur inside, which is important. That's pretty neat. Well, I like that it's a good size, and it's not impossible to sell for that price, but I've noticed that here, for some reason, beaded purses, I buy them here. Yeah. It seems like something people here are not as interested in, and I don't know why, because I take them from here and sell them immediately elsewhere. So I don't think your price is the problem. I think it's just, you know, maybe the customer isn't here, but maybe they'll show up today. Yeah, why would you bring the same stuff back to the same show year after year if it didn't sell the first time? Exactly.
We've been having like garage sale. We had a garage sale, and then we had the Urbana show, and then we've donated 3 truckfuls of stuff that's not moving.
That's great. You know, sometimes you just have to give it up, let someone else have a chance with it. You write it off against the stuff, and you take that money and you sell the next thing, and you get it all back.
Had a death pile that we had to just get through, and it was like we didn't even want to face going through the death pile.
Exactly, because the death pile is usually the stuff that wasn't as fun, wasn't as interesting. You shoved it to the back, and now you have a huge pile of it. So it isn't fun, and then people ignore it, and then they pay storage fees for years, which is what, yeah, we all have been there. And it's crazy. It doesn't make sense. It's better to just cut your losses and get something else and turn it again. I knew a dealer early on who said, if I have something more than 6 months, I start marking it down until it's gone. And if I lose money, I don't care, because if I paid 10 and sell it for 7, I can take the 7 and buy something and sell it for 15, and then I'm fine.
Yes, we had a little child's Victorian looking rocker just today. We've carted that around for 2 years.
Yeah.
And I said, yes, you can have it for that. And they were kind of shocked. I said, hey, I want you to have a good deal, and then we don't have to put it in the trailer and get it ruined.
Exactly. Here's a cute little Cambridge set of fruit. It's not the calico fruit, but there's the Cambridge mark. And it's $60 for the 3 pieces. That was made here in Ohio, along with most of the ceramics and glass that were made in America. I mean, there were certainly other places, but Ohio was probably the epicenter for American houseware production in the early and mid 20th century. Appropriate to see on a Sunday morning. Squirrel! Funky trays and ashtrays of the 1960s. Well, there's the Treasure Craft leaf. Here's a really wild V-shaped piece. I love this boomerang shape. And this one just is marked USA. I don't recognize that mark. These look like Hetty Shoup candlesticks based on when I was with Crazy Lamp Lady. She had the pair of candlesticks with the console bowl with the woman in the middle of it, and here's a different pair of candlesticks. These actually are the hard pieces to find. You usually see the figures because people took better care of them. They want $50 for the pair on that. And there's the Hetty Shoup Hollywood, California stamp. I like your little stool under there. That's a neat shape. Gosh, that's so fun. I love it. Yeah, the little lamps are one of my favorite things. Oh, that's so cool. Thank you for putting that aside. This is really cool, and I kind of passed by it and thought it was neat and then didn't show you, and then they said, hey, this is pretty cool, you should take a look at this, and it really is. It's Gary Trudeau, who did Doonesbury. This is from about 25 years ago, and Catch the Foam. Apparently this was a Starbucks promotion, because, oh, I see now, yeah, he's got the Starbucks coffee shirt on. Interesting. So he did a series of 1,100, probably for every store they had at the time, I imagine. $100, I mean, that seems like a good price for something interesting like this. Because I have a space at a mall that's 2 blocks from Starbucks headquarters.